And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate, and tax plans, public relations, marketing, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage with you so that we can help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. At some point, you're going to need it. We'd love for you to reach out and engage with us. Any questions, comments, concerns you have with the show, we'd love to be your consumer advocate, help you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent out there in our community. And also, we have our resource, our website as a resource for you as well, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there, the finest folks in all the Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the air to help you understand more about your buying decisions and making more informed decisions when it comes to being that consumer advocate for you out there. This segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Lucky Dill. They've got a deli, New York City bar, Brooklyn bakery, catering, and they have banquets as well. The Lucky Dill, home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. The food is amazing. The service staff is very friendly. 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. LuckyDillDeli.com. Now, make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Lucky Dill is the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team. We got a couple hot listings we're going to let you know about, but let's first introduce our expert contributors. We've got in studio today attorney Jason Kobal, Kobal Law. Welcome back, sir.
Oh, thanks, man. Glad to be back.
Yeah. What are you going to talk about today, man?
Just some practical tips, which I know falls in line with your awesome show. I always learn when I come out here from the guests that are on with me. But, just a couple tips in the areas that I practice in.
Very cool. All right. We got Michelle Frome in the house as well. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Shark Branding Solutions.
Yes. I've got some really fun stuff I'm going to talk about today. One is for businesses that are out there. I want to talk about an untapped marketing channel that a lot of them are not utilizing right now, where for every dollar they spend, they can get $6 return. And it's also trackable, which is also very important. And then the other thing I want to talk about, too, is basically how everyday people like you and me can realistically make $9,000 by being compensated by brands and companies just for hanging out on social media all day and talking to your friends, which we all do anyway. So
wow,
I'm going
I
to
like
talk about that today.
That's really neat. Yeah, some of these social influencers, some of the folks that are just, the first line. It was interesting. I was at a friend's house and he was showing how his daughter was looking at this one YouTube channel, and the kid basically, the toy makers send the toys to this kid's family, and the kid plays, and everybody he got millions of followers online just for as a kid to watch him play with toys and see which ones he likes and how he reacts. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, the main one we were actually just talking about him before. We started, and his name, one of them is Ryan's Toys Review, and he makes $1 million a month.
Oh, wow. I wonder if that's the same one.
He's 5, and he plays with toys.
That may have been him.
It probably is.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
He has his own toy line, too, out in the stores.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
With toys.
Did the kid get a gig with Nickelodeon because of it or something? Is that the same one? He got a cartoon or some kind of a show with Nickelodeon.
I think that might be the one. There's 2 of them that are out there. Yeah, and I always get him confused.
That's pretty cool.
He might. I think he does. I think he's the one that has the cartoon.
That's interesting. Man, what a different world we live in than 15, 20 years ago. I mean, really cool. All right, so we got some good consumer advocate content for you here on the show, and also a couple of hot listings here. Compliments of the Platinum MVP team, 4449 Marine Parkway. This is a gorgeous in-unit condo, or actually a townhome with no condo association. 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, waterfront townhome, and it's in Woodlands, neighborhood of Gulf Harbors. You got direct bay access, 2 boat docks there. Gorgeous pictures online. Compliments of Fabre Frameworks, our real estate photographer. And check it out online at consumerqb.com or platinummvpteam.com. And another hot property is 12610 Port Marnock Drive in Odessa. We just did a price reduction on this property, and this one is one of my favorite listings right now. It's got golf course community, Turnberry at the Eagles. So you've got water views on front and back, golf course views, great opportunity here, and beautiful Tampa Bay. Check out platinummvpteam.com for all of our real estate listings. And we got a feel-good story of the day coming for you here as well in our lightning round in our feel-good segment, the Tell Me Something Good segment. Let's jump right into it. We got attorney Jason Kobal in the house, Kobal Law, and practical tips of ways people can live a better life, avoid some of these situations that might get them into trouble.
Right. My main specialty is workers' comp. So I've got a couple that recently popped up. I generally represent injured workers pretty much 99% of the time, but recently I was asked to help out somebody in the construction industry who thought he could hire independent contractors. In Florida law for the construction industry, there's no such thing. Even if you have a contract saying they're an independent contractor, if it's construction law, I mean, if it's a construction site and you're a general or a sub and you bring someone on to help, they're not an independent contractor. They're one of your employees. And if you don't have comp coverage for them, whoever hired you on, if you're a sub, the general is going to have to cover it. And if you do bring someone on that you misclassify as an independent contractor, you could face fines from the state. And that's the case that I actually had to turn down. But it kind of, when it happened, I was like, oh, I'm going to tell Brandon about this on the show.
Yeah.
So other people know not to do that. And what happens is the state, they'll look back, they'll get the last 2 years of your pay records. And anybody else that you did that to, you get fined. And, it's actually a felony.
Wow.
If it's real bad. But
wow.
Yeah, so that's a big no-no. So if you're in the construction industry, make sure you cover your employees.
Wow, yeah. They have to be employees. You can't just say,
right.
Oh, well, you use your own equipment. I mean, I know there's certain thresholds and
that's
tests.
for other fields.
Okay.
Construction is the only one in Florida workers' comp law where there's no such thing. But now, outside of that, then the factors are if they have their own tax ID number, if they have their own equipment, if they're able to come and go as they please, if they can take a loss. If you can mark all those boxes, then they could be an independent contractor. But that's not easy either.
That's not easy, yeah.
No.
And so many people just go for that easy route, but there's such a high propensity in the construction industry for people to get hurt.
That's why.
So I see why they're covering it.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
it
they're
makes
making
sense.
Cover it.
But yeah, definitely good to know.
Yeah, and I saw a post on your Facebook page, man. You had some really good success stories recently.
Man.
Can you share some of those? Or?
Sure. One of my, I'd say probably my proudest case, it was a workers' comp case. And I think I talked about it from the standpoint of having a good relationship with your attorney because it was an elderly woman who I got to know really well throughout my case. And she happened to be a CNA in the medical field. She needed help after a surgery. She needed a month and a half of attendant care. After 3 days, they shut it down, and they said that she was being medically non-compliant. And I knew, just from who my client is, there's no way she was medically non-compliant. So I believed her, and I was able to prove that the orthopedic surgeon lied about her condition.
Wow.
And the people that were there to give her attendant care made up lies about her being non-compliant. So now it's turned into a huge civil case.
Wow.
So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. On that story there, then they were trying to say, oh, well, she's not taking the drugs or she's resisting us.
I still don't understand the motive behind it. What's the big deal to cut this poor lady's care off?
Yeah.
But now, I mean, we're pursuing medical malpractice, defamation, even abusing the elderly.
Yeah.
For age and whatnot. But I'm very proud of that. And that's one of my big ones. Right now, I've got 5 civil cases that we assess to be over $1 million. I'm very, very excited.
Wow.
Because comp is my main thing, but sometimes those cases lead to other type cases,
Yeah.
like civil cases.
Kind of bleeds over in some
Sometimes.
cases. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also someone I've talked to lately. It's a friend of a friend, and it's a situation where he's being taken advantage of by a girlfriend, paying bills for that person. Like, how do you come up with where it's right and wrong, and where it's actually elder abuse? Is there some type of a
Well, yeah. I mean, there's the law. You got to look at the legal standard.
Yep.
And in this situation, it was like blatant, intentional. And again, I don't know the motive, but they definitely told lies that stopped her care. So then therefore, I mean, if they know they have to take care of her for 6 months or for 6 weeks, a month and a half,
Yep.
and you shut that off intentionally 3 days into it, then you know that she's in need, and you intentionally stopped it.
Yeah,
So
trying to save money, probably.
I
Just
guess.
skimming money. It sounds
yeah,
like.
it's sick, but
Yeah.
so I'm glad I was able to uncover that. And if I didn't know my client as well as I did,
Yeah.
I may not have dug as deep as I did to find all that out.
Right. Yeah.
So definitely want to have a tight relationship with your attorney.
That's right.
Can.
Yeah. Don't hold anything from them. Tell them everything, and you got the attorney privilege, client
That's
privilege
it.
there. So
Yep.
that's going to protect you. Jason Kobal, one of the best in the area. Kobal Law, the website koballaw.com.
.net.
.net.
Yep.
Koballaw.net. That's KOBAL law.net. And when we come back, Michelle Frome in the house. We're talking about Shark Branding Solutions and some interesting content on some really cool stuff I'm looking forward to hear. And also our feel-good story of the day. Student can't get a kidney transplant without a home, so his teacher is adopting him in our feel-good segment of the day. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties, maximizing the exposure in ways other real estate companies cannot. A couple of hot listings here. 13508 Indian Oaks Trail in Largo. This property is just 5 to 7 minutes from the beach. Beautiful pool home, great opportunity, quiet street in Largo, Florida. 13508 Indian Oaks Trail. Great real estate investment opportunity here in Tampa Bay. Also, 11540 Shipwatch. This is a condo, second floor condo with a pool view on a pond as well. So you've got a lake view as well. Great opportunities here in Tampa Bay. Hot real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official restaurant, hotel partner, that is, of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They've got a great restaurant on site as well, but it's on Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island. The great opportunity to go hang out on the beach, bring the family, or maybe it's a business trip or wedding that you're planning. Bilmar Beach Resort can cater to both, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. The Bilmar Beach Resort has been one of the most sought-after destinations in the Treasure Island area for many years. So Bilmar Beach Resort, let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Back here in studio, we got Jason Kobal in the house, attorney Jason Kobal, KobalLaw.net, and also Michelle Frome here in studio. So Michelle is a marketing expert, branding expert, Shark Branding Solutions. So got some really good stuff for us today. I'm excited.
Thank you. So as I had mentioned that there are some challenges when it comes to businesses that are trying to market and advertise their products. So a lot of them have traditionally turned to digital ads, and what's happening is that there has been a big increase in people using ad blockers. So there's around 25% of people that are using ad blockers on their connected devices, and it's just growing and increasing. So that means roughly that a quarter of digital advertising spend that you guys are spending isn't ever actually being seen by people. So you're paying for ads that aren't actually getting seen.
Do they still, do the people that they're paying that money through, do they still count that as an impression or a click? I mean, they probably do, right?
They do, and it can be. So think about it. Let's say you're watching a video on YouTube, and halfway through it, this ad pops up. And what happens is it will show as an impression because they'll say you saw it, but how many people actually looked at that ad? Did you click out? Did you answer an email? Did you talk to someone? Did you look somewhere else? Mm-hmm. There's so many things that could have stopped you from actually seeing the ad, but you're paying for the actual impression, even though they didn't really see the impression.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they make you wait 5 seconds until you could skip ad.
That's exactly why they make you wait 5 seconds.
That.
Yeah.
Buggers.
That's exactly it. So the other way people are getting to go and get their products in front of people is through the social media platforms.
Okay.
That's a big place, but what happened was that they had such a big inventory when it came to people paying to advertise on social media, because that's where people were hanging out at. Then your organic followers stop seeing your posts. So you have worked so hard to create this massive following, and only anywhere between 10%, I think now at one point it got down to 4, maybe even 2% of your followers were actually organically seeing your posts because they were competing so much for ad place in your news feeds. Wow. So then social media started becoming a really big issue. So that's why companies could no longer really look at followers as a good metric to determine if your marketing was working.
Right.
So then they switched over to engagement, because what happens is they created an algorithm because they realized that people were getting upset that they were seeing nothing but ads on social media. So they created an algorithm to where they put a preference on however many people that you like or interact with or comment on their stuff. So therefore you are more likely to see their other posts because you engage with them all the time.
Right.
So that's why engagement is actually the metric that you need to track when it comes to the success of your campaigns. So that's one of the things that you guys need to be looking for when you're doing your spending. So with that being said, what are people supposed to do? How do you get your products or your services in front of people, especially if you have a tangible item? Let's say you wanted to put it in a brick and mortar store. Well, brick and mortar stores are closing down all the time. It's the retail apocalypse. So again, how are you supposed to get your stuff in front of your consumers? And so that's why companies and brands are looking at influencer marketing in order to go and get their products in front of them. And that has been a fantastic route. It's still kind of the Wild West out there. It's still pretty new. People are still figuring out how to price that out, both from the brand and the company standpoint, like how much would you pay an influencer? How do you determine how that influencer campaign is successful and if it was able to drive any results? And then the influencer is also trying to figure out exactly how much they charge and how they prove their value.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of a pretty new concept, but it's still out there, and it's been established here for the last, I want to say, at least 6 years. So it's, when I say new, it's not so super new, but it's become so good and drives such results that it's actually, for every dollar that you spend as an advertiser, you're getting around $6 return. Sometimes it's even like $7, sometimes $8, because of the fact that if you think about it, let's say you go on Amazon, right? And you see these beautiful pictures with your stock photos. But then right before you go and press buy, you go and you look at the product reviews. And these are reviews done by regular, everyday people that have unfiltered pictures, and here's what the product really looks like. And they're telling you exactly how it is and how it's like to go and use this product. And that's really what drives that sale. And if you think about that, that's what the influencers are doing. Not those celebrity influencers like the Kardashians that's out there making a post, but these are the regular, everyday people, you and me, that go out and say, you know what, I really love this water. It tastes awesome. I'm so hydrated, and look at my skin. Of course, all my friends are be like, oh, I want my skin to look like that too, so that they go out and they buy that. So that's really where there's a market that small businesses don't have to pay $150,000 for someone to make a post, or pay $1 million for this 5-year-old to go and play with toys all day. But they can realistically go and pay these people a lot less money than what they're having to pay on their billboards and other things that you can't prove that it's working. And you can compensate them, and they can actually show you trackable results, how they're able to go and drive revenue for your company.
Yeah, because a lot of that can be tracked through the specific URL links, and then that'll allow segmentation. They can figure out based on that who's clicking and why, and maybe at what part of the ad. I've even seen where they do the heat on the computer screen, right? You can see the mouse. They can actually see where the mouse goes and stops, and some people scroll their mouse as they're reading, so they can see that. So you can really get intelligent with the way that you run your advertisement. So then the question would be then. So with all that said, what's working for you, or what are you advising your clients to do?
So we are advising our clients to do is absolutely tap into the influencer marketing channel, maybe embed or allocate budget over there in order to go and just utilize that as an option, because that really is going to be the future. I'm recommending that they put together really strong influencer programs, which includes contracts and agreements, to make sure that they don't get taken advantage of by people who just want free stuff. And then I'm also recommending that, with that, they go and they have analytics, and they have the tracking, and they really define exactly what a successful campaign looks like. Are you looking for product sales? Are you looking for exposure? What is it that your goals are? And then use those goals to make sure that your influencers are meeting those goals.
Right. Yeah, and especially nowadays, there's so many different niches too. So you look at, hey, you got the the Tifus of the world, the gamers. They're out there on Twitch, and they're maybe that's a area where you want to market your specific. We talked about last week, Rob, the chairs that people play the games in. That's a perfect matchup right there. May not be great for a real estate company like myself to market there. Who knows? Maybe it could. But I guess that's the challenge is nowadays trying to figure out where you want to place your advertisement and which type of influencers to place it with.
I mean, I think it's really cool if you think about it. Let's say you're a boating company. There's all these people that are out there that have these big boating followings because that's their audience. That's what they built it for. And so you can either go and spend $10,000 a month on a billboard and reach a bunch of people that aren't boaters, or you can go and spend a fraction of that with these particular people that are promoting your boating products
Yeah.
to actual boating enthusiasts,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, that's going to make more sense than spending it in other
point.
channels.
Yeah, the math, and especially when you look at how print advertising is still somewhat, it's like, wow, people are still putting advertisements in these little magazines, South Tampa mag, these mags, I don't understand that much, especially, when you look at the digital return, what you're getting out of, and I see stats too about radio. Radio is one of the only analog mediums that has grown year over year. AM, FM radio, good old fashioned, turn on your car, turn the radio on, and then you can access it through iHeartRadio apps now. There's ways you can access it. And that and smart television devices as well. That's another growing demographic. People know that there's 42 million households that have smart television. So that's where we jumped into Apple TV, Amazon, Roku with our show now. Search up Binge Networks. You can find our show on all the different platforms. But yeah, some great stuff. We're talking with Michelle Frome here, Shark Branding Solutions, marketing tips on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And when we come back, more from our expert contributors. We got attorney Jason Kobal here as well. And we're going to continue this conversation around consumer advocate ideas for your business or even for your family, ways that you can live a better life. Feel good story of the day as well. Student can't get a kidney transplant without a home, so his teacher is adopting him. Find out about that story in our feel good segment of the day. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook as well. And we'll see you right on the other side of this break.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Check out PlatinumMVPteam.com. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving. The official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they're a first-class organization. They handled our family's move, and they did a great job. They've got great ratings online, 4.6 rating on Google, 4.5 on Yelp, A rating from the Better Business Bureau, and an A rating on Angie's List as well. Reach out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And a couple of hot property listings here. We got commercial properties for this segment. 7424 4th Street North in St. Petersburg. 50,000 plus vehicles going by this property every day. It's a corner lot, gas station, mini mart, and it has 3 service bays at 7424 4th Street North in St. Petersburg. Owner is motivated to sell this gas station, and it's a hot real estate property here in Tampa Bay. 207 Coronado Drive in Clearwater. This is on Clearwater Beach. Now, this is perfect for an entrepreneur, developer, a builder, someone looking to really be on the busiest street on Clearwater Beach. 207 Coronado Drive, right across from the Wyndham Grand and the Hyatt, right across the street from the beach, and it's on the Intercoastal Waterway side. Just a great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Check out all of our properties at PlatinumMVPteam.com. And I want to let you know about Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event. This is the 2.0 version of our big event that we did last year. This is coming up on Thursday, June 27th. You want to save that date, mark that in your calendar, 6 p.m. at the Verizon Center in Largo. Networking, catered food, DJ, bartenders, and it's just going to be a great networking opportunity for you to come out, meet some other entrepreneurs. We already have about 80 people registered for this event, and we just started promoting it about 3 days ago. Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event 2.0, Thursday, June 27th, 6 p.m. at the Verizon Center in Largo. It's a really cool venue, too, if you haven't seen that event center. And it's networking, catered food, DJs, bartenders, so much more at the Consumer Quarterback Show presents the largest speed networking event 2.0. All right, save that date. And we're back here in studio. Attorney Jason Kobal in the house, KobalLaw.net, Michelle Frome, Shark Branding Solutions here in studio. So we're talking about marketing today, talking about, of course, workers' compensation, personal injury law as well. What else are you seeing out there, Jay?
You know what? It's interesting. Following up on what Michelle was talking about. I have 2 businesses, 2 different types, and I have my law practice. And there's so many rigid rules for the Florida bar as far as advertising. It's crazy. Yeah. But so that is, you're kind of stuck with limited options. But I have my casino game, and I dabbled on my own, and I tried Facebook ads. I tried LinkedIn ads. I tried the Google ad, whatever it's called. And I got destroyed. I mean, I spent thousands. I thought, I'm like, if they could do it, I could do it. No. So definitely good to have.
That's why we have a job.
Right.
That's right.
It's tough navigating those waters sometimes. I mean, it really is. Just something you think would work. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh wow, this is a funny video. We did one. There's a site you can go, I think it may be promo.com. There's a site where you go and you can just grab weird clips of things and add your words on top. So, it was this funny thing where the guy's, doing a workout thing like this with his, kind of his back end, hind end hanging out right here, and the newlywed couple sitting on the couch, like sitting there in their suits, so the message was, hey, you want to buy a house, want to get out of your parents' house, and the guy's working out right in their face. And so it's a funny video, but not much pull through on it in terms of results.
Right.
No, those are those types of videos, which I know because that's actually one of our first commercials that we had was off promo. And they had really funny things. Those are meant more for brand awareness, just to kind of funny and get people to kind of know who you are. But if it comes to driving sales, that's not really it. But think about it. It takes about 7 times for people to go and see your message in order for them to do whatever it is that you want. So you want to have a mixture of very subtle messages, humorous messages, and also combine that with strong sales copy in other videos. So you want to kind of do both and mix them up, but it's great. But yeah, as you were saying, I mean, they make it seem so easy, like there's so many courses out there, like you too could be your own marketing agency. Well, just because they teach you how to do it doesn't mean it's that easy to do. It takes years of learning and practicing and a lot of times. So, and just, trial and error. That's really what it is. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Congrats for you for going and
Oh,
trying.
yeah.
Good job. That's it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And even going back to what you said, Jason, talking with Jason Kobal here, koballaw.net. When you refer an attorney, you can't just say, hey, here's the person that wants to talk to you. You call them. You can't do that, right?
Well,
Even
they
simple?
just changed the rules on that even. Now, I mean, it's awesome. I love referrals because I get a phone call, maybe do the initial interview, and then I refer to another attorney. I get 25% of the fee.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it's like a big chunk of change for
Right.
really doing a little bit of work. It used to be that you could just give them the referral immediately and you get your 25%. Now you have to prove you actually did some work on the case, which is cool. It's not difficult or anything.
Yep.
But yeah, they definitely have very strict rules. But yeah, referrals that's a key source of my income.
Yeah.
I love them. And there's some states that don't have them. I don't even know if I could practice in those states because I rely on those referrals are critical.
Yeah, and it's big in the real estate business too. I mean, you get it's very similar, 25% or so off of out-of-state referral or somebody within the Keller Williams network.
Right.
That happens from time to time as well, so that's great.
And what's frustrating for me is I'll have somebody who's not a lawyer who'll send me business, and I want to give them 25%, but I'm not allowed. That's and the way I look at it, I'm like, gosh, they gave me business, I should be able to. But no, if it's an attorney, I can.
Right.
If they did a little bit of work on the case, but if it's a non-attorney, I can't.
Same with real estate.
Oh, is it?
Same with real estate, yeah.
Can you take them out to dinner to Charlie's?
Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. Don't tell anybody.
Don't air that part. You want to edit.
Yeah.
Edit.
So what else for our listeners out there? We got a lot of business owners out there, folks looking for competitive advantages when it comes to business. So you're practicing workers' comp, personal injury law. What have you seen lately in those two spaces? Any changes to any laws lately?
I talked to you about the PIP. As far as workers' comp, and this is more so for the injured worker, a couple things that people don't realize. The system's a self-executing system, and it's really meant to get people back to work. But so a lot of times, you get hurt, you might go to the hospital or a couple of appointments with the doctor, then you go back to work. If somebody's out there who went through that, and you probably didn't even have an attorney, if that accident happened within the last 2 years and you're no longer at that employer, I could get you money and we could still settle that case. So give me a call. Wow. That's good to know. If you're involved in the case and you're on light duty, meaning you're on restrictions and your job, you're working light duty, but you have to go to doctors and whatnot, workers' comp should be paying you in addition to your lost wages if your lost wages fell below 80%. And that's probably the number one way they if you don't have an attorney, they kind of give you the short end of the stick and they don't pay when they should. So if you're right now in that system and your wages fell below 80% of what you used to make because you're having to go to appointments, you're having to go to therapy, and you're on light duty and you're not getting a check from workers' comp in addition to what you're making at your job, give me a call.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, that definitely. They need to reach out to the show hotline, 813-670-7372. Any comments, questions, or anything that you want to talk about more, that's what we set this show up for as your consumer advocate. So reach out to the hotline, 670-7372. That's a Tampa Bay number here, 813 area code. And, of course, consumerqb.com. So personal injury law, this is another area where, car accidents, slip and falls, fights outside of a nightclub or a bar. I mean, things get crazy out there sometimes.
Absolutely. And then, of course, there's, you pay for your insurance, but then when you actually need it, they become your worst enemy.
It does.
And they can be nasty.
Yes, they can.
I have a couple right now where I know the case is worth X, and they're just not paying it. And, they're setting themselves up for bad faith, in my opinion. But, it's amazing how hard they'll fight you when it's actually time for them to do what they got to do and cover you.
Yeah, they love taking those checks every month, though.
They sure do. Yeah,
or that draft now. It's just a draft out of their bank account nowadays.
Right. Right.
Nobody's processing checks as much, but so when it comes to personal injury law, there's things to consider. You look at whether it's an accident or you're looking at potential risk from a business owner. Business owners might be leaving themselves out there if they don't have the right proper, security or, those types of systems. There's a standard of, what's it called? A standard of where you have a responsibility,
Absolutely. And even just not even on the business sense, like, for example, if you lend your car to a buddy and they get into an accident, you're on the hook in Florida. That's a law specific to Florida. So, you got to really watch what you're doing these days because you never know a lawsuit come up.
So the owner of the car, no matter what.
The owner, the insurance follows the vehicle, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even though, and it always, if your friend takes the car, that's without your permission, that's a different story, of course.
Right.
But yeah, if you lend someone a vehicle and they're the ones who are negligent, you're on the hook if you lent them the vehicle.
Wow. And that could be thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Just had a case like that. So.
Wow. Yeah. Got to be careful who you lend your car to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And in Ubers, think about the rideshare programs.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole nother area. A lot of times they don't have the proper coverage they're supposed to have. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then they have coverage, and then the second they're off the clock, it disappears.
Oh.
I had a case like that. It's frustrating.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's only limited to when they have someone in the vehicle with them.
Interesting stuff. Okay. So attorney Jason Kobal in the house, Michelle Frome, Shark Branding Solutions, and our feel-good story of the day coming up. Student can't get a kidney transplant without a home, so his teacher is adopting him. Right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you about your real estate and help you save time and money. We've got a great buyer agent team out there as well, working with a lot of buyers right now. A great time of the year to be in the business of real estate. Also, the mortgage has dropped. Mortgage rates are low again. So if you're potentially thinking about a refinance or a purchase, we would love to talk to you. Check out consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our Feel Good segment.
Tell me something good.
Student can't get a kidney transplant without a home, so his teacher is adopting him. This is a great story. A teacher in Colorado was in the process of adopting his sick student to help save his life. Damien, 13, suffers from focal segmental glomerulosclerosis and is in desperate need of a kidney transplant. The only reason he's not available for the transplant is because he's homeless. So one day, Damien told Finn Lanning, his math teacher at AXL Academy, he wouldn't be returning. He was on his way back to a hospital. Lanning decided to step in. He's adopting Damien, giving him a place to call home and a chance to finally get that elusive kidney. When you're, quote, when you're living in the hospital, you're not able to be on the transplant list because folks who don't have stable housing are considered high risk for their organ not to work, Lanning said. Lanning said Damien had spent 3 to 4 months living in the hospital while waiting for placement in a home. Over that time, I started going out and giving to him and working just to hang out with him a little bit and just caught up in the classroom, Lanning told Fox 13. As I learned more about his story and what he was facing and what his needs were and why they weren't being met, it just came really hard for me to look the other way. And Lanning's decision to adopt Damien got a teen out of a hospital, moved into him from the top of the waiting list for a new kidney. Damien is now living with me, going back to school, and was just recently relisted on the kidney transplant list, Lanning said. But Damien's condition requires him to maintain a strict diet, which has placed an unexpected financial burden on Lanning. Their food bill can run between $200 to $300 per week. So Lanning launched a GoFundMe page for Damien and has raised nearly $60,000 as of June 1st. So that's a pretty cool story right there. Talking about a teacher stepping up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we got in studio today attorney Jason Kobal, KobalLaw.net, Michelle Frome, Shark Branding Solutions. So we wanted to pick it up on that influencer marketing. That sounded like a pretty cool topic.
Yeah, it was good. So I want to switch gears and switch over to the influencer side and just kind of talk about how you even get into being an influencer and getting paid by people, because there is no clear-cut instruction manual on how to do it. So that's actually what I've been researching for probably the last 6 years. But also, we come from the brand side, so we work with brands and companies on their influencer marketing campaigns.
Yeah.
So I'm actually able to now tell influencers, hey, here's what you need to do in order to do that. So
and how the business can get connected with the right influencer.
Exactly. So
I like that.
I've actually put together a picture, a slide that they'll pull up here. Just on regular day influencers, people just like you and me that have gone out and actually made a career out of this. These aren't the Kardashians. These aren't crazy people that, that are celebrities out there, as Dennis Rodman, like you had mentioned earlier. These are people just like you and me that are doing this. So we've got Dan Middleton here. He makes $16.5 million per year.
Wow.
He is one of the gamers as well. So that's one of the ones that we were talking about. We've got Kayla here. She is an she's on Instagram. She's a fitness blogger. She charges around $150,000 per post.
Wow.
We've got Tyler Oakley. He's an activist. He makes $6 million a year. We've got Ian and Anthony over there. They just created a site just for some silly videos that they do. They make $11 million. And then my favorite here is Ryan. He's 5. He makes $1 million a month. Wow. He's got the Ryan's Toys reviews.
That's really cool.
He gets free toys and gets paid a ton of money. And I know that because I watch hours of him be with my kids. So I know exactly who he is.
And that's the one that I actually saw.
Yeah,
so I
that's
recognized the kid when
that's
you showed
Ryan
me that.
right there.
Wow.
Yeah, so these are people that are just starting out. They didn't have any followers, and they followed a very specific process in order to do that. And now that's the type of money that they're making.
Wow.
What started this whole thing and all of my research into this is actually because of my brother. So I'm going to pull up my brother's page here. My brother's great. He's awesome. So what he did is he created this really fun Facebook page, and it's all about the adventures of him and his friends partying out on boats on the weekends and just kind of hanging out with their neighbors and just having a great time. Well, it exploded and went crazy. His group did. Again, it's a BCP, but Byram Cove Party. And what he's been able to do with this group, they now has 6,000 very loyal followers and fans that engage with him all the time, right? So it's actually getting through all of those ad blockers, through all of those social media ads, and people are still interacting with him, which is awesome. So he's done some really cool things with it. The news stations go to his page for local news and for information, which is a big deal. They've actually taken it and they've gone and created these big music festivals where all the proceeds goes over to charities. He makes one post and says, "Hey, we're all going down to this particular bar tonight," and that bar is guaranteed to make a ton of money that night.
Nice.
So he is a strong influencer in his community, and he said, "Michelle, I have no idea how to monetize this at all."
Where's that lake at?
So it's Lake Hopatcong. It's up in New Jersey.
Okay.
It's this little cove called Byram Cove, and he labeled it Byram Cove Party, but they shortened it to BCP.
Yep.
But it's just a bunch of normal people just goofing off and having a great time, and people love it. They have these little flags and membership cards, and it's just silly. But he said, "I have no idea how to monetize this. Show me how." So I've spent the last 6 years trying to research how my brother can make money off of this. And so
that's pretty cool.
What I've been able to do is actually put together a process for him and say, "Look, here's your blueprint. Here's what you need to do. Here's how you do it." And then I realized, well, I gave him enough information to hang himself over here. So now I need to help him with, here's how you negotiate. Here's kind of your legal guides. Of course, I'm not an attorney. But here are some things that you need to look at to make sure you are in compliant with the FTC. Make sure you're not going to get in trouble for that. So I gave him all these tools in order to do that. He's been very happy, which is great. And then I've been very vocal on a lot of influencer groups for people that are doing the work of a salesman for these brands. They're promoting their products and they're not getting compensated appropriately for it. So I've been very much an ally and advocate for them to really understand what their worth is. So what I've done is I've actually, the information that people were wanting it. So our team created a webinar that I actually teach you the exact blueprint that I taught my brother in order for him to do it. It's going live here next week. So we actually have a wait list if people want to be notified on this. So you can be able to go on our website at sharkbrandingsolutions.com and sign up in order to be notified. It's not showing right now, but it'll be up there later today. So you can just go in there, fill in just your name and how an email address, I guess. And then we'll send it out and say, "Hey, it's live. Go out there and go watch. And I'm going to teach you exactly what the steps I taught my brother." There's no reason why you guys can't realistically make $9,000 from brands if you have less than 2,000 followers. Stop focusing on followers, and for the love of God, stop creating free content for these brands and companies, because they're paying other people a heck of a lot more. They're doing a lot less than what they're able to do themselves.
Yeah, that's great. There's a lot there when it comes to social media influencers and branding and how you get in front of the right people and making sure your message is reached, and it's then of course how to convert. Once the traffic hits, you got to have the right conversion set up, and making sure that you're on top of that side of it as well. So that's great stuff. Michelle Frome, sharkbrandingsolutions.com. Let's jump into our lightning round now.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Attorney Jason Kobal, KobalLaw.net. Give us some nuggets of advice.
I think I may have said this before. I recently got into the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and it fascinates me. I didn't know that a regular person, if you pull your credit and you see something on there that doesn't belong, you could dispute it, and if they don't give you an investigation or a thorough investigation to results within 30 days, then they violated your rights. They have to take it off your credit report, and you're actually entitled to a statutory penalty of up to $1,000.
Wow.
You could even do that without an attorney, but if you want me to help you, please give me a call. So yeah, pull your credit. If you see anything on there that you don't think should be on there, you don't understand it, make them prove that it should be on there. And if they don't do it, you get it taken off.
Good stuff. I like that. Great tip. Michelle Frome?
Stop accepting free products from brands in exchange for posts. Please get paid what you're worth. You're doing the job of 5 employees for them. They are saving a ton of money. So stop doing it now.
Yeah.
Just stop. If you guys want to know exactly how to get paid, go to our website, sign up for the webinar. It's free. You can hear me talk for about an hour. I promise it's not just me rambling the whole time. But yeah, follow the same thing that my brother is able to do. I promise you, my brother is more than likely not going to be paying for anything else for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, good stuff. Great content and nuggets of advice and marketing tips. I love that. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, donate some blood. Lots of ways that you can be a force for good in the community. Do something kind for one another. And follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. And we hope to see you at our event coming up on the 27th as well. Have a good day. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.